output section, and I'm gonna call my in-ears to my right. Okay? So if I would like to rotate the surface at any time, I can call outputs to my left, and then I can call my in-ears to my left side, and then on the right side, I can get two inputs, and I can get, for example, VCAs. Right? So now I'm mixing front house, using my VCAs to my right. I have my input channels aligned to the center screen. That's my way. My brain is very linear. I really like a lot to be underneath the screen, otherwise I can get lost. Okay? So that's why I'm staying right here. So I have a PA on my right, inputs to my center, and in-ears to my left. So it's according to your necessities, what are you doing? Would you like to keep a different configuration at every single tile? That's absolutely welcome. Again, every person is different. Every person can define a different layout in a different flow. Okay, so there's no right and there's no wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna start showing drums to the left, band to the center, VCAs to the right. So let's say we're mixing front house. Okay, so I have 24 faders on top of the surface. I have my VCAs to the right. So the subject on the test is the query, the Q button, okay? So technically it's like questioning the console, literally, right? So you will be a little bit familiar with some of the consoles that can do kind of the same thing. So for example, VCA number one, that's the drums VCA. So if I'm doing the question, the console is popping up the elements which are doing a contribution to this VCA, right? Look at the layout. There's no more layers, there's no more banks. Only those elements which are coming to the drums.
Is it kind of like a fader spill?
It is like a fader spill, yes. Okay, so if I remove this guy, now I can get back to my layout, and then I can navigate my system. Okay, so I would like to see percussions, that's percussions. I would like to see the keyboards, that's the keyboards. These are the brass section, and so on. Okay, so again, the query is a way as we can navigate really fast, and we can assign and deassign stuff really fast as well. So the next feature is single click, is like questioning, right? Now, if I long press the query, this is called query assign. Look at the select buttons.
Oh.
So I'm gonna remove the floor, all the toms from the VCA number one. I'm gonna remove the edit mode, single click. There's no toms anymore,
Or Tom?
right? Well, I missed one. So if I long press again, can you engage for me, please? Right?
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now, single press. Okay?
When you just disassigned them, did you assign them by holding one and then holding the other one like 3 or 4 away? Right?
Correct.
So you could do it that way as a shortcut to
That is
not
correct.
have to press it 4 times.
I'm gonna long press, check this out. Long press, okay? So if I click on this point and I press, I can define a range.
Ooh.
Got it. Yeah, that's what I thought I saw.
Okay, yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I was moving really fast, and sometimes I doesn't know it. So yes, that's the ways you can assign that. That's called query assign. Okay, so it's a really fast way to do it. So single click, that's the question. Long press, that's the query assign. Okay? Yes, sir.
Can it spill to another, let's say you hold from here and take from another bank if it's in line in the input list, or is it all per tile that you can assign?
I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna take drums here. I'm gonna take the band here, and then VCA is right there. Can you long press on the number one, please? Okay. So I have. Yeah, it's working
Okay,
all over the.
yeah, and if I would go here, I can obviously
Yes, yes.
select, but I
Is-
can't select the whole.
Yes, that's correct. Is
yeah.
is a consecutive. The consecutive order in the list according to the range that you take,
Right,
right? So whatever is between these 2 points is gonna be taken over.
right.
All right? It's very cool. Okay, so that's query assign. Now, I'm gonna get to the menu. In the menu, I'm gonna take a look to the setup, and then in the setup, I'm gonna get to the options. All right? We're gonna be navigating the menu very soon as we're getting back from lunch. Okay. In the options, I have a few tabs in this section, and I'm gonna stick to the surface. Okay? In the surface, I have the query set up and I have the follow set up as well. So this is the way as I can customize the behavior on this little button. Okay? So we have two modes in query. We have the compressed mode and we have the expanded mode. So I'm gonna set this back as standard. So when you're configuring a console from a template, the console will be configuring something like that, like this. Okay? So this is the standard configuration. So in this little chart, I can see that my VCAs are assigned in the first column, which is the compressed mode, right? So what's compressed? Look at the layout. So if I press query on the VCA number 1, the layout has disappeared. And now the console is compressing back to back all the elements, doing a contribution to this VCA. So it's saving surface. So it's trying to put as much as possible together so you can see in a single site, you can see all those elements at once. Okay, so if I move to the next VCA, there's no more in the layout except for the channels which are doing this contribution. For example, if I get the VCA for the band, which is more than 12 faders, basically the console is compressing all of these channels back to back, and then it's taking the first bank on the furthest tile to get the first section, and then it's jumping to the next bank on the next tile to get the extra elements. If you're using more than 24 faders to this contribution, then the console will toggle to this bank, and then will toggle to this bank, and so on. Okay? So this is compressed mode. So again, compressed mode is just cleaning the surface, and it is just compressing back to back all these elements. Okay? Now, if I take VCAs instead of compressed mode, and now I do expanded mode, right? And I get to the VCA number 1. As you can see, the console is not compressing the surface. I can still navigate my layout. I know where the things are. And I can see green lights on the channels doing a contribution to this VCA. So right now, many of our input channels are assigned to the VCA number 1 because we did that test, remember? Make sense? So that's compressed and that's expanded mode. Any questions?